What do you think?
You know what I was going to say? I do want that comment that was just there, the Trump comment. Trump voters are my neighbors, not my enemies. What I want to say about this is that Trump voters have been painted as all being racist instead of people being disaffected of the Democratic Party and going to the Republican Party. There are people that fall into that category. I don't feel that all Trump voters are racist. We have to understand mass media, corporate media, they're the purveyors of, they're the ones who carry out the plans of creating divide and conquer. Yeah. So if Trump voters who are rural voters who need the same things that urban voters want, do you understand? We're both urban whites, people of color, and urban people of color in urban areas versus rural whites, underfunded schools, lack of economic opportunity in both places. This is what I'm saying. We have the same issues, but because we disagree on cultural things, and those cultural things are big things, but this leads me to the other thing I want to talk about, which is coalitions versus teams. We are so conditioned in team, meaning it's all or nothing. And it's because of our duopoly conditions us that way, whereas every other place, they don't see it weird that they teamed up with somebody that they disagree with on a different issue. They don't see that as weird, because in other countries, when you have multiple parties, it's all about coalition building for different topics. That's how it works. But in the United States, it doesn't work that way. So here it's, you don't believe in this, so I can't be on your team. That's how we think. And it's like, you don't believe in with Medicare for all, for example. Somebody said that about libertarians right here. But do libertarians agree with us? Now, let me make a distinction. I'm talking about leftist libertarians, because there are some libertarians who call themselves leftists. I'm not talking about the co-opted libertarians who are conservatives. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about on that spectrum where you have leftists and you have non-authoritarian. I think you, Nick, fell on that spectrum as left and libertarian. Didn't you fall? I think you sent something out.
I was doing a lot of reading. There's always a lot of discussion between whether you like lean more anarchism, left libertarianism. And once I became anti-establishment, I was doing a lot of reading from the anarchist point of view, but I also did a lot of reading of the Black Panthers and Marxism-Leninism. And there's like a lot of like, I almost like manufacture like high school like beef I see between like Marxist-Leninists and anarchists, because they have a few fundamental disagreements. But from my experience communicating with people who consider themselves anarchists and Marxist-Leninists, when you look at the problems of the day, like fighting the U.S. empire, ending capitalism, there's way too many agreements that we have to focus on the very small ideological disagreements between Marxist-Leninism and like libertarian socialism, right? And I see people who want to divide the left, because like they almost like take a flag, like, all right, I'm the anarchist, I'm the libertarian socialist, so I feel like I gotta fight the Marxist-Leninists. Well, I'm like, bro, we're fighting the U.S. empire.
Right. We're all fighting the same people.
Like, what are you guys doing? Like, we got, like, we should, like, we don't have to fucking agree on every single fucking tenet.
Right.
That's the disagreement, right? And I struggle to even put a lot of it in words, but a lot of people like they like, all right, after the revolution, we got to figure out how the society is gonna be situated. How are we gonna do society? We got to figure this out right now. I was like, bro, the U.S. empire is stronger than it's ever been. Like, can we at least actually get a coalition to challenge that first, right? And then we can hash out.
What does coalition mean, though, JB? Go ahead, JB. What does coalition mean?
No, I'm going to give you the definition. Actually, I'm glad you asked. So I looked up the definition of team, and I looked up the definition of coalition. Here we go. So the definition of team in the dictionary is a group of players forming one side in a competitive game or sport. It's also a verb as come together as a team to achieve a common goal. A coalition is a noun. It says an alliance for combined action, especially a temporary alliance of political parties forming a government or of states.
Let me do Nick's move. Like, come on, like listen to that. A coalition means literally, by that definition, you're not agreeing on everything. You're agreeing on a temporary, specific topic. That's what a coalition. I think people take coalition to mean team. Well, I don't want a coalition with the KKK. Nobody's saying that. But if a KKK member wants Medicare for all, guess who I'm voting with for Medicare for all? The KKK member, because he's voting for Medicare for all too. Nobody's saying I'm going to go, oh, that means I'm saying races are okay. On a specific area of people need health care, racists need health care too. The KKK member is saying, yeah, I'll vote with the black, whatever he wants to call me, for Medicare for all. And this is another thing I want to say about when they're always denying, oh, I don't want to team up with, these races and that races. The racist people are not going to want to team up with you, bro. I'm sorry to break that to you. So you don't have to make that distinction like, oh, I'm not going to team up with this races. And they're not going to want to team up with you. And I'm just so sick and tired of the division and how leftists don't see it as a division tactic. Like, if they don't see it happen, they think like, no, this is a real thing that we have. No, it's not. This is a division tactic. We are not going to agree on the same things. We're not.
True. And for the people that say, oh, you got to be dispowered. Mm-hmm. The CIA tactic, dispowering activists. Oh my God, these motherfuckers holding a Joe Strike Summit. You guys are not going to make change. You guys not going to.
Who does that, Nick? Nick, who does? I got to ask this question. Who does that? Stop feeding those people over there. Like, stop helping that old lady change. Who does that? Who critiques people helping people?
These are the people that are considered serious. These are the blue checks. These are the people giving access to the club. Ben Dixon was one of them. Like one of the people that trying to pew the General Strike Summit. Meanwhile, he's sipping wine with Brooklyn Dad, right? So these are the people that are considered serious in our political discourse. The people who do nothing to platform and help workers. Meanwhile, we are broke black people with fucking extra jobs, barely struggling to make ends meet. We throw an event together, not making a goddamn dime, and we spread massive awareness about Jones Strike. Have people talking about this? Where, like, if we didn't have this summit, how many people be talking about Jones Strike right now?
Nobody. I mean, there'll be some, but not the way it is. Not the way it is.
You talking about actually having union leaders come on? We had literally, we had Breonna Joy Gray. We had a lot of the big names coming on talking about, yeah, Jones Strike, not a bad idea. We had Lee Kemp on. We had people from the Black Agenda Report. We had people from the Gray Zone. Come on, like, yo, we should, Jones Strike, not bad.
And we had people who did not get along.
Yeah, people,
and you would never know that. And they came on and for the cause. And that's what I want to say for our leftists, for our comrades. We have to understand we can only do this together. So disagreements about he said this, she said that, this person liked this person, like none of this changes our material condition. And if you let small things divide you, I don't understand why you let small things divide you, but then you go and team up with people who disagree with you with most of the things you believe in. You get what I'm saying? You let things like, personalities divide you, but then you turn around and go vote for the Democratic Party? That, to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.